That's a good angle. All right. It's tough to be honest with yourself. Accountability is uncomfortable. So when you work hard and you're consistent, but you know that you're not pushing yourself the way you should, and you say, I need a break, or I'm tired, or something like that. One thing that you got to ask yourself is, did you really earn that break? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome to Righteous Reps. Music.
By faith, not sight. No confusion when I move. I'ma stay by his side. If he move, then I'ma move. Gospel
Make it
in
look
my
like
ride. And move with the news.
that's my goal. But anyway, hey everybody, welcome back to Righteous Reps. I'm the new dad bod, and I'm pumped that you're here today. Every time you show up, you're investing in your faith, fitness, and transformation. And I'm grateful to be walking this journey with you. But before we jump in, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and make sure you ring that notification bell so that way you don't miss anything that drops or anything that's going on over here with the Righteous Reps family. Let's build this community. Today we're talking about something we want, but we take before we earn it. Rest. And not just rest, but earned rest. Because rest only feels right when the foundation underneath is strong. Think about it for a moment. When was the last time you took a rest and you actually felt like you've earned it? Jesus gives us this image in Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 to 27. Anyone who listens to my teachings and follows it is wise, like a person who builds a house on solid rock. Though the rain comes in torrents and the flood waters rise and the winds beat against the house, it won't collapse because it is built on bedrock. But anyone who hears my teachings and doesn't obey it is foolish, like a person who builds a house on sand. When the rains and floods come and the winds beat against that house, it will collapse with a mighty crash. That is how our fitness habits work too. If we build on rock, consistency, perseverance, discipline, we stand firm. But if we build on sand, excuses, inconsistency, shortcuts, everything crumbles the moment life gets tough. Ask yourself right now, am I building my habits on rock or on sand? Hey, real quick, I wanted to talk to you guys about Project One. This isn't just another supplement brand. Project One is built for people who train with a purpose, who knows that the grind is more than just lifting weights. I stand by it 100%. I use it myself every workout, every day, because I believe in what it represents. The Bible is for my faith. Project One is for my focus and my fuel for greatness. Go check it out at project1.com and use my discount code DADBOD for 10% off. All right. Thank you. And remember, God is gains. Let me give you a real example of what it looks like to build on sand. And I didn't even realize it at the time. When I first started working out, I built the whole gym in my basement. I was excited. I was grinding. Me and my son were going down there. We were pretty consistent. But then the cracks started to show. There'd be days when I worked out hard, and there's days where I skipped altogether. Eventually, it got to a place where I found everything better to do besides work out. Looking back, I realized that the problem wasn't the workouts or anything like that. The problem was the foundation. My mindset was sand. I wasn't willing to sacrifice. I wasn't willing to stick to the plan. And because the foundation wasn't solid, it was easy for me to drift away. And the same thing happened to me in my faith. My faith wasn't built on solid ground either. I used to be a person that said, I don't need a book to be a good person, right? You hear that all the time. But that's what happens when you don't understand Christianity, when you don't know God's word, when you don't have a relationship with Him. You end up building your house on sand and not even realizing it. But everything changed when I opened my Bible, when I actually started reading it, when I started building a relationship with God, when I surrendered my life to Christ, when my foundation shifted from sand to rock. And once my foundation changed, everything else change with it. Think about your foundation, faith, fitness, or even both. Where might you be building on sand and where might you be building on rock? Science backs this up too. A 2020 study from the Journal of Behavioral Medicine found that people who keep a consistent exercise habit, even at moderate intensity, build stronger long-term motivation and are far less likely to quit. And also, another study in sports health showed that athletes who earn their rest through consistent training recovers better, grows more, and performs better than those who rest early or way too often. In other words, consistency builds the rock, and the rock earns the rest. What's one area where you need consistency this week? This is why Galatians chapter 6 verse 9 is one of my go-to verses. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at a proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. You can't reap a harvest if you never plant it. You can't enjoy rest if you've never earned it. God's telling us, in our faith and our fitness, stay steady. Your harvest is coming. What is your harvest going to look like in 6 months from now if you give up? And then there's Romans 12:12. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. That is your mental game right there. When you grind, it gets heavy. Be patient. When results take time, be joyful in hope. When you're tired, stay faithful. What part of that verse speaks to you most today? Rest is good. Rest is necessary. Your muscles grow when you rest. Your mind resets. Your spirit recalibrates. But rest hits different when you've been consistent. A rest day feels like a reward instead of a retreat, like progress instead of permission to avoid work. What does your rest day feel like? Is it a reward or is it a retreat? Faith, fitness, transformation, they all overlap. They all feed each other. They require discipline, commitment, perseverance, and a solid foundation. Take a deep breath, just one deep breath, and ask yourself, what brick can you add to take this foundation higher for this week? So today, here's your challenge of the week. Look at all of your habits and your schedule, your routines. Ask yourself honestly, am I building on rock or am I building on sand? And if you need to rebuild, great, rebuild. Today is a fresh start. Build your foundation, earn your rest, strengthen your rock. If this episode inspired you or if this episode helped you in any way, make sure you share it, like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that way you don't miss any time that we drop something over here. We're trying to build this Righteous Reps family higher and higher, and we can't do it without your help. So make sure that you subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell. But remember, more importantly, it's all about progress, not perfection. And I'm here to support you every step of the way. Once again, thank you for choosing Righteous Reps. I'm the new dad bod, and I can't wait to see you next week. Stay strong, stay faithful, and remember, God is game.
By faith, not sight. No confusion when I move. I'ma stay by his side. If he move, then I'ma move. Gospel is my ride. I'm moving with the news.